They say that fortune favours the well-prepared, but EVE Online can sometimes be a capricious and uncaring beast. Sometimes, no matter your best intentions, no matter how well you've prepared, things simply do not go to plan. And in this video, I want to showcase one such time. I was running some Abyssal Dead Spaces using my Muninn. I thought I was prepared, I thought the fit was ready, I thought I had everything I needed to make this work, but it just simply didn't work out. And I thought this would be a fun way to showcase that sometimes, despite your best plans, you do have to learn how to adapt on the fly. As someone who lives in J-Space and who plays Abyssal Dead Spaces an awful lot, this is a skill that I think is vital for pilots to learn. Being able to change and adapt on the fly is probably the difference between losing your ship and keeping it alive by the skin of its teeth. Ahoy there folks, I'm Captain Benzie and welcome back to another video for EVE Online. In today's video, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Rather than looking in depth at a particular ship or fit, I want to kind of take you behind the scenes, behind the curtain, to show you how the preparation for one of these videos goes. A lot of people sometimes think that perhaps I just grab a ship, jump it into a couple of anomalies, and then make a video out of it in a quick rush attempt to make some content. That simply isn't the case. I will have run the content over and over, tweaked the fit and tried things in numerous different ways to try and get the best thing possible to showcase, even though I do obviously still showcase my mistakes whenever possible, because I believe those are important learning opportunities. Instead, in this video, we're going to jump straight in to an Abyssal Dead Space that I was running in my Muninn. I'm going to talk about what happened in there, and just how everything went wrong, what I could have done better, and how I learned from this. This means that I can come away from that Abyssal Dead Space, having had a very hair-raising situation. I can modify the ship, the fit, the playstyle, I can do all kinds of different things in order to improve, and then bring you a better video at some point in the future, showcasing this incredibly awesome ship otherwise. Anyway, if you do enjoy this video, if it makes you laugh, drop a like on it. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think about it. Both of those things are completely free to do. They take you a brief second and they really help support the channel. So please take that moment to hit like and drop a comment. Beyond that, subscribe if you haven't already. And if you do want to go the extra mile to help support me making content like this, I've got a Patreon page, a Redbubble merchandise store, and a PayPal tip jar, all of which you can donate to in order to help me keep doing what it is that I do. Finally, if you are new to EVE Online, I have a referral link in the description down below. If you click on that and log in with your account, it'll give you 1 million free skill points and gives me a small kickback as well, which does really help. And if you do fancy joining us here in Catskull, we're always recruiting. Click the link to our Discord in the description down below. Heck, even if you just want to come and hang out and chat with us, come join the Discord, talk about all things EVE Online, consider joining our corporation. Otherwise, let's jump right in. So I've just jumped into a raging dark abyssal dead space. I'm not particularly familiar with raging, but I'm trying to learn. Now the Muninn is a heavy assault cruiser for the Minmatar Republic. It uses the rupture hull, which I really like, and it's also using missiles, so I'm using heavy assault missiles for this. Now the first room that I've come into here is a Triglavian room. You can see there is a whole bunch of different Damaviks in here. I'm doing my usual approach of essentially try and get close to the bioadaptive cache, blast that open, loot everything, and then I'll start to orbit the gate while I shoot everything else. You'll see this is an armor tank Muninn. I've got 2 webs because obviously I'm in a dark filament. I need to be able to deal with the fact that everything else is going zoomy zoom 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 in here, and I'm trying to use standard heavy assault missiles, not rages, just to get better application against these smaller, faster ships. Now, looking at the various different things that I'm going up against in here, I'm a little bit astonished at myself that I didn't go straight for the starving Vedmak. Obviously, that starving Vedmak is neuting me. That can be a problem. They do actually do surprisingly heavy neutralization. But ultimately, I'm just shooting the Triglavians one by one, taking out all of those Damaviks. You can see we've got like the ghosting one there. That was reducing the range on any turrets or missiles that I have. I'm being scrammed by 3 anchoring Damaviks. Not a problem because I'm not using micro warp drive in this case. There is still that starving Vedmak, which is now what I'm shooting at. Should really have gotten rid of that a little bit faster than I have, but there we go. You can see that I've lost my shields now. I'm in armor. I am running 2 armor repairers currently. I'm going to turn one of those off just to kind of see if that one is now sufficient to, you know, just to keep me alive. I've also got the assault damage control fitted, just in case I need a big panic button. Also, finally, there is a reactive armor hardener there. I love reactive armor hardeners. I will do a video directly on those eventually soon, talking about how those work and why they're such amazing modules. Anyway, this room seems to be going pretty well so far, right? Everything's okay, I'm killing things at a decent speed, like looking at the time limit, we're not at the 5-minute mark yet. I've looted the cache, or no I haven't, I'm approaching the cache now in order to loot it. 2.5 million from that one room, not bad. And now we're going to move toward the transfer conduit and just orbit that while I take out the last of these ships. Ultimately, I'm feeling pretty good at this point. I can see one armor repairer is doing the job. That reactive armor hardener has now moved into a position where it is keeping my resistances nice and high against what I'm fighting, the damage that I'm taking. That harrowing Vedmak's about to go down, onto the 3 anchoring Damavix, and then finally a striking. You can see that even though these have been alive for a while, and thus their entropic disintegrators have been spooling up, I am kind of keeping it together and, holding on to things. You may also notice there are 2 Hornets in my drone bay. I haven't launched those because there is a Deviant Automata suppressor in fairly close range to me. Oh no, it's actually really far away now. It's like 87 kilometers. I should have launched the drones. There we are. Mistake number 1, I guess. Should have launched the drones. I'm also not using any boosters at this point, and stupidly, later during this run, I kind of look at myself and go, oh darn, I'm using my turret clone, not my missile clone. Now my missile clone has the rapid firing implant attached to it. It's got one of the ones, I can't remember which, for application. It's mainly missile damage and application, just to make sure that I'm hitting targets faster, harder, and, well, better. But I'm stupidly sitting in my medium projectile turret one, the one that I was using for the Vagabond earlier the same day. Not a great look, really, to be using the wrong thing. And these last few Damavix are taking a little bit of time to go down. A little bit longer than I'd ideally like, but it's going down. And we're still before the 5-minute mark. If you look at the clock in the top left, we still haven't hit 15 minutes time remaining. So as long as all 3 of the rooms are similar in duration, I'll be absolutely fine. So there we go. Room 1 done, through the transfer conduit, just before it fully opens even, into room number 2. Spoiler alert, this is where things start to get a little bit hectic. Now, immediately, I'm looking at that cloud of ships there and thinking, that's a lot of ships. And it is. There are a lot of ships there, and I'm trying very quickly to look up and down the list for which of these I need to take out first. Now, it's at this point that I actually thought that the ghosting Damavix were doing disruption, guidance disruption, in the sense of actually affecting my application, which is why I kind of lock onto those quickly and first, because I want to get rid of those and the tangling there. I've since come to realize that actually they only seem to affect the range of your weaponry, not the application. They are using range disruptors, not tracking or whatever the other one is, precision disruptors. So with those down, we're doing okay. Again, looting the cache and about to move on towards the gate. Things still taking a little bit longer than I like, and I'm kind of looking at this list of ships here and thinking to myself, that's a lot of ships to shoot through, especially since some of these are taking a little bit of time. Nothing found, and the reason there's nothing found there is because I've accidentally hit W because I've been trying to orbit, which means I haven't looted the biocompetitive cache. I'm kind of just drifting here on it now, getting shot at, and wondering why my camera's spinning in this awkward, awful way, but too busy trying to lock onto and shoot things, and just looking at how things aren't really dying at the speed I'd like them to. Those tangling Damavix, if you watch its health there, you see its health's going down and then immediately back up, and then down and then back up again. I am struggling to apply enough damage in order to actually beat that. So, okay, let's try moving the ship in a new direction. If I take the ship off in a new direction, those Damavix which are orbiting have to change their orbit, and by changing their orbit, they have to slow down. That gives a bit of application. Boom! There we go. Very, very nice. That worked. I've also seen, obviously, there's no Deviant Automata suppressor nearby, so we're going to send the drones out and see if that helps as well, see if I can kill these just that little bit faster. You can see, just look at the light show going on screen here. It's just crazy the amount of weaponry flying around from those Tessellas and everything. You can see the red lines from the from the entropic disintegrators, those red beams, and all the bright white beams are coming from the Tessellas, the spark needle, strike needle, all that kind of stuff. And again, I'm now really struggling to take out that ghosting Damavik. It's just not going down. I'm sitting here and now there's a part of me beginning to panic a little bit because I'm looking at how long these Damaviks are taking to actually kill. I'm making sure here, let's use not the rage, change from the rage into standard missiles, and that Damavik's right back up to full armor again. I'm looking at this going, oh no, I can't apply my damage to this properly. I cannot seem to actually kill this thing. And if I can't kill this, look at how many other enemies are in the room. I've got to kill all of this and then another room before getting out of here. And I'm already a couple of minutes through this room. My drones have taken a bit of damage, so I've had to pull those back. Panic is genuinely setting in. I was sitting on comms at the time with some folks who were watching me stream this in Catskull, and I'm just like, I don't think I can do this, guys. This is supposed to be able to run chaotic, and I can't seem to get it even to run just a raging. And okay, part of that's because I'm using the wrong clone, I'm not using any form of pills or boosters, but it's also because I've failed to notice something really quite important in the room. There is, in the distance there, a blue cloud. Now, for those of you who don't know, a blue cloud in an abyssal dead space essentially makes everything in it have a significantly higher signature radius. These ships that I'm fighting are all frigates. If I fly into that cloud, I'm going to make things much, much bigger and easier to shoot at. And this just hasn't clicked yet. I haven't registered. I'm in a little bit of a panic just orbiting here, going, why can't I kill this Damavik? Why can't I kill this Damavik? Why will it not die? I've tried overheating my missiles for a little bit to get a faster firing rate for a bit more DPS, but it's still not enough, and I'm not chewing through it. And I do eventually sort of start thinking about this and like, right, okay, what can I do? I can't overheat the webs because all that does is add additional range. Like, what do I do? And then I look down and it's like, oh, there's an orange cloud. Is the orange cloud the one that gives me the boost to signature radius? I mouse over it. No, that's the velocity bonus and negative inertia. Not really the one I want to be going for. And I'm sort of looking around and considering my different options at this point in time because time's running out. I'm nearly halfway through the time limit on this abyssal and things are not going well. Now, ultimately, the dragging myself away from that orbit, again, has forced those Damaviks to change their orbit, which changes their speed. This is sometimes referred to as slingshotting. It's not true slingshotting, which is about altering the enemy's orbit in order for your tracking to work better, but it's kind of the same concept. I'm changing the direction I'm moving to force them to modify their orbit. When they modify their orbit, I am then able to... They're going to go slower, which means my missiles apply better. And you can see those are doing some bigger hits now. Ultimately, I think at this point I have finally spotted that there is a blue cloud there in the distance, and that is going to help me to shoot through through these things. So we're going to try and move towards that in a moment. And see if we can make the signature radius of these ships bigger. Because crikey, look at this. We're now halfway through the time limit. And I've still got like, what, how many ships is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 ships to kill? 13 ships to kill in this one room. And I'm sitting here thinking, goodness me, if I get another one of these rooms, what am I going to do? Like, I'm going to lose the ship and the pod. It may be the wrong pod, but it's still a pod and it's got a lot of stuff on it. It's my turret clone one. I'm going to have to replace that at least for the next time I want to take the Vagabond out or whatever. And no, looking at the footage, I still haven't clicked that there is a blue cloud in the distance there behind me. I've just gone back to orbit. I'm still trying to do the whole slingshot thing of getting those tangling Damaviks to slow right the hell down as they change their orbit and hopefully hit them with some powerful missiles in order to chunk through their armor. It's not working. It, simply put, is not working. These are just not taking enough damage. They are repairing their armor, and I am an idiot for not looking around at the situation around me. Abyssal Dead Spaces is something I run frequently. I've, talked about these a lot with people. I can't believe that I've forgotten what the blue cloud does, and it's right there in the footage. It's literally right there in the footage, right behind the gate now. I'm trying to get orbits, I'm trying to orbit different things to get those Damaviks to move around, and there we go. I finally spotted the blue cloud, and I think at this point in comms I'd literally just said I am an absolute moron. Because I've finally spotted literally about 12 minutes into this abyssal now, that there is a cloud here that is going to make me apply my damage significantly better to these. There you are, 300% signature radius, penalty for the bioluminescence cloud. And oh look, the second that I'm inside this cloud, and they're inside this cloud as well, look how much damage I'm suddenly doing. This room would have been over ages ago had I clicked onto this earlier. So I am now just dragging these guys through this cloud, hitting them with everything I've got, because I need to clear this room. I really need to clear this room quickly, and I've come out of the cloud, so I need to manually pilot, turn around, back into the cloud, in order to make sure that everything is staying well and truly large signature radius for me to apply to. You can see the tachyon cloud. Filament cloud is the orange one, sorry. They're down below as well. Filament is the one that affects your speed, I believe, or shield booster amount, I forget which. Either way, it doesn't matter, it's not relevant for this one. We are, again, just going to be piloting back and forward through this cloud now, keeping all of the enemy ships in the cloud and looking at whether or not that is going to start pulling those Damavix down a little bit faster, and it is. The other thing I could have done is the short-range Deviant Automata Suppressor. Deviant Automata Suppressors destroy missiles, they destroy drones, and they destroy rogue drone frigates. Look at all these Spark Needle Tissellas. If I had decided to go for a close orbit around that short-range Deviant Automata Suppressor, that is going to chunk through those drones on its own. It's going to do some real heavy damage to those and just help me kill them that little bit faster. Not ideal because I can't use my drones if I'm close to it, and it may hurt my missiles and stop them flying through space, but it's an option. Just go down there in orbit and let everything else take the damage from that suppressor. But otherwise, you can see, by me just now actually utilizing the blue cloud, everything's dying. Everything is dying so much faster. Annoyingly, we get the reload just as I say that, but you'll see that when the missiles hit, look, that Tessella went right the way down to hull in one hit. Let's launch the next strike and kill it off. Just going to have to keep manually piloting in and out of this bioluminescence cloud, just to keep these nice and big targets and apply as best as I can. What an idiot. What an idiot. I'm now coming up to 15 minutes into this dead space. This room has taken me 10 minutes to do, and I could have done it in half that time had I spotted the fact that there was a bloody, great big, bright blue cloud in the middle of this room. What an idiot. But I've spotted it, I've adapted to it. And I'm sitting here telling myself now, I can do this. I can do this. We are one room away. I've got to kill that Tessella, I can jump into the next room, reload everything, jump into the next room, and hopefully it's going to be a better room than the one I am currently in. Hopefully we're not going to have so many enemies to shoot through. But, you know, maybe it's going to be a couple of battleships or cruisers and things like that that I can just chunk through nice and quickly and then get out of here. There we are. Into the third and final room of this abyssal dark filament, and again, I haven't reloaded. I should have used that time to reload, but oh well, I'm going to do that now, hopefully, if I remember, as we approach. And oh look, cruisers, good. I can kill these a little bit faster than perhaps I could some of the other stuff. We're going to move towards the bioadaptive cache, whatever. Blast that open. Loot it, and then do the orbit the gate thing, because I want to be as close to the gate as possible, so that I can jump through at the very last second if I am fortunate enough to get the time to do that. Yep, these are sleepers, so they've got omni resists, don't need to change my ammo. We're just going to hit these quickly. You can see they do take a few moments to go down, and I'm still looking at the fact there's, 9 enemies in here? And I've got to kill all 9 of them in the next, 4 minutes? To the point that I almost didn't bother to try and grab the loot in this one. It was almost a case of just screw it. I'm gonna, just drift and just deal with that. Just deal with that and ignore the loot. But I'm also sitting here now thinking, right, okay, well, I'm in position. I may as well just orbit this point, orbit the cache, and then I can blow that apart and loot it if necessary. Those Tyrannoses aren't going down quite as quickly as I'd like them to. The drones are out doing their thing. Yeah, still a Tyrannos about to go down. Cool, we are running out of time here. So I've moved the drones onto the cache so that the drones can kill the cache, so I can loot it while I'm doing the main damage from the missiles to those Scylla Tyrannoses. Only scrams, so no big problems here. Only scrams, nothing that's affecting the tank of my ship at all, and I'm sure as well you can see the mad amount of lag that I'm getting here, constant jittering of the camera. It's just Zimbabwean internet, good lord, it's awful. But there we go. I'm still not overly hopeful about this. Looking at the clock in the top left, I have mere minutes to get this done. And I've just gone to use the origin conduit, not the bioadaptive cache to loot. That's going to take me a moment to spot. Oh look, and there's a blue cloud in the background. Maybe I should be using that. Yeah, it was the notification that, oh yeah, you can't use the gate because there's still enemies, made me go, oh, I didn't mean to use the gate. I meant to be going up against the biocompetitive cache. Oh well, there goes a Silatyrannus. I've got about 2 minutes left. 2, maybe 3 minutes left looking at the clock. Oh boy. Am I going to be able to do this in time? Flying through the blue cloud at this point on my way towards the cache, that is going to help because it's a bit more application against that Silatyrannus. But I'm just looking at it and it's not going down particularly quickly. It's really not going down as quickly as I'd like. Again, do I even bother to loot at this point? Yeah, I'm practically here, so screw it, we're going to loot it. If I do survive, nice big lag spike there, then maybe it'll be nice to have some ISK towards, you know, just to recuperate the stress of this. I've got like less than 2 minutes left. I've got 2 ships. We are just going to orbit the gate now. Screw the drones, whatever. Just get ready to jump. Get ready to jump the second things are going. This is going to be close. This is going to be so close at this point in time. Ephialtes Entangler and a Silatyrannus still to kill with about 1 minute on the clock. And I'm thinking that the Scyllars are, you know, they're sitting there at like 3rd health, 3rd armor, 3rd shield, 3rd hull. This one just doesn't want to die. There we go. That Ephialtes Entangler is a full health one. How long is that going to take to go down? How long is that going to take to go down? Am I going to be able to kill this in time? And I'm like, oh, I've already like done massive amounts of overheating to my missiles. I can't really overheat them anymore. Look how close that time is getting in the top left. Am I going to do it? Am I going to do it? Yes, we are. Quick, get through that gate. Get through that gate. 35 seconds left. That was too stressful. That was too stressful. But that's what you get for being an idiot. Anyway, folks, hopefully you found that enjoyable. I thoroughly loved running that. The threat of nearly dying and getting out literally by the skin of my teeth was awesome. Let me know your thoughts and opinions and what I did wrong in the comments section down below. Otherwise, happy sailing and see you in New Eden.